Hey, this is Pastor Russ, and I'm going to share something with you that is totally. This is my stuff. I'm not getting this from anybody else. You ever heard the phrase "Do as I say, not as I do"? We've all heard it, and bottom line is, run. Just run away from that. It doesn't work. It never has worked, and it's just a bad idea. You expect everyone to do their best all the time, and they expect the same of you in many cases. We're disappointed whenever the two don't line up, but let's be real here. Your expectations and what they're able to deliver may not be the same. But do you know what impresses people more? Loyalty and faithfulness. Those two things right there matter more than anything else. Mistakes can be forgiven and even forgotten when the value of the relationship is greater than the project or mistake. So think about that for a moment, because you can go a lot farther with your coworkers and with family, with friends, when you place the value of the relationship to be higher than whatever you're thinking or whatever you want. The only way you can promote the qualities of loyalty and faithfulness is by keeping your word and doing so in a way that you just don't come off as a jerk. It isn't easy by any stretch, but let's just take a look at a couple of things here real quickly that you can use in order to help you out. Number one, do people expect you to be perfect? No, but if somebody does, they got different issues. That's not the case. If you're expecting other people to be perfect, to do exactly what you say, you've got issues. And you probably need some help to be able to work through them. If you're a brain surgeon, you don't want to hear, oops, in the middle of surgery. But if you're mowing a lawn and you miss a blade of grass over there on the far side of the back side of the lawn in the backyard, who cares? What is the difference between those two mistakes? Margins. Margins is that space that you have to work with in your time and in your money in order to make mistakes. So you're going down the road, but you get off on the road, on the margin, on the shoulder of the road just a little bit, that's okay. Well, you've gone down the road and you've seen those signs that say the shoulder's closed, there is no shoulder. They're trying to tell you there's no margins and you can't be making mistakes. You can't be using that side of the road in order to escape an accident. The smaller the margin, the more pressure you will be under. So if you overdo everything in your life, you're pushing out. Get rid of your margins. You get rid of your margins, you end up exhausted, broke. You don't have time. You're aggravated with everybody else. You're making mistakes over and over and over again. If you want to be a person who keeps your word, give yourself some margins. Give yourself some room for some mistakes, and give people other room for their mistakes also. Now, understanding managing margins is part of your job. Whether you know it or not. Sometimes you even need to have a discussion with your boss and saying, you gave me this much and I can do this much. What are we going to do? And if they look at you, well, you got to get it done. Well, yeah, but the laws of physics are going to tell you, no, we need to rethink this. Where there's deferred maintenance, this becomes a problem, because what deferred maintenance does is when you put it off, you just keep pushing, until finally you get into the margins, and you might even wait a little bit longer, and now it's become problematic, expensive. And I didn't know what to do. I couldn't do anything about it. And that's at those particular point in time where you needed to see it coming, and you needed to get some help in order to be able to avert a disaster. Number two, did you forget or procrastinate? They're very close to each other in how you respond to it. Everybody does. First of all, nobody has a perfect memory. Not me, not anybody else. And everyone always puts off what they dread the most, procrastination. What are you procrastinating? The thing you don't want to do. So design a system that'll help you remember, okay? Think of some easy ways to be able to do this. You might want to keep some notes. I use Post-it notes, and when I'm at my desk, I write something on a Post-it note and stick it on the front of my iPad, and I look at it later and I go, okay, let me take care of that. You can set alarms in your phone for a reminder. If you're putting more than, I've seen people put in 22, 28 alarms a day. It's a little excessive. It might be something else going on, but 5 or 6 to keep you on task. That's okay. Ask them to email you with the details of the job and deadlines. Ask for details. Ask them what you want to do. And you may even set up a separate email account just to give to people who need to send you this kind of information. Don't put it in your big general account because it gets in with all of your junk mail and everything else, and you get lost and you get spammed and all the rest of it. Ask them to text you or email you the next day or the day before just to remind you. And I say, well, I can't do that. Well, you can set up your calendars. All calendars have reminders put into them. There's ways to be able to do this. If it's procrastination, first thing you do, write it down so you don't forget it. We put it off, we just forget it. So write it down and then do this the first thing of the day. First thing of the day, just get it and rip the Band-Aid off and get on with it. You will find the rest of your day is going to be much more enjoyable. If you put it off to the end of the day, you've been misery all day waiting for that to happen. Just go ahead and get it over with. If you find it's a problem that you can't overcome, get professional help, talk to me. Procrastination sometimes can be a symptom of bigger issues. Next thing is, if you can't keep your promise, don't dump on people, okay? So call and say, I can't get this done, but what can I do to help you? All right. Don't just, I'm sorry, here you go, bye-bye. They won't ask you to help again. You might find yourself unemployed or marginalized where you're at for doing that. Never wait till the last minute. Always address it ASAP. Now, if it happens at the last minute, that's fine. You didn't know. But if you knew days or weeks beforehand and you didn't say anything, that was rude. Waiting wastes time, and time is money, and you don't want to waste it. Be honest, be clear with people. You don't have to confess every sin, but don't be vague. Hey, I just overbooked. Hey, I've been ill. I just can't get to it. A lack of clarity communicates a lack of sincerity and trust. So you're being open, you're being honest with them, and you're going to take your lumps for it. Maybe, don't know how some people react, but you'll be able to go from there. So take those things, write some of them down, see what you can be able to do with it, and help yourself out.